Welcome to the Explainer. So, let's talk about something that's probably on your mind a lot these days. How do we actually stay relevant and even thrive in the age of AI? Well, it turns out the answer is already inside your head. If you're feeling even a little bit anxious about the crazy pace of AI and you're wondering if your job is secure, trust me, you are not alone. It's a very real and a very valid concern for a lot of us.
And yeah, the numbers can look pretty scary, right? Some reports are saying that AI could automate up to 40% of the tasks we do in a bunch of different sectors by 2025. I mean, that's a massive shift in a really short time.
And get this, in 2025 alone, we're looking at projections of over 77,000 tech positions possibly being eliminated as the entire job market just reshuffles and redefines itself right before our eyes.
Okay, but it is not all doom and gloom. What if I told you that the ultimate tool for navigating all this disruption isn't some new app or gadget, but a hidden superpower that you already have? It's time we learned how to unlock it.
All right, let's dive into our first section, the AI disruption. Before we can talk about the solution, we really need to get a handle on what's called the AI brain paradox.
So, the story you hear everywhere, the big myth, is that AI is here to replace us, to take all our jobs. But the reality, well, it's a lot more nuanced and honestly a lot more interesting than that. It's not about replacement, it's about augmentation.
And this is a perfect way to see it. Look, AI is an absolute beast at the heavy lifting, processing mountains of data, remembering facts, plowing through routine tasks. But then you look at the other side. That's our turf. Ethical thinking, real empathy, creative problem solving, nuanced judgment. These are not just nice to haves anymore. In the age of AI, they become our most crucial, most irreplaceable skills.
Which brings us right to section 2, your brain's superpower. Let's dig into how we can unlock this thing to meet this new world head on.
Okay, so this is the absolute heart of our explainer today, neuroplasticity. What a word, right? But all it really means is that your brain has this incredible ability to change and adapt. It's not a fixed piece of hardware. Think of it more like software that you can update and rewrite yourself. I just love this quote. It captures the idea so perfectly. And listen, this isn't some sci-fi concept or just a feel-good platitude. This is real modern neuroscience. It proves that we can keep learning, keep growing, and keep adapting for our entire lives. And this right here, this is the old myth we have to just throw out the window. For so long, people thought your brain was basically set in stone after you grew up. But the reality, the truth we now know, your brain is malleable. It's ready to be rewired at any age based on what you do and how you think.
So, the big question is, how do we actually do that? How do we use this superpower on purpose? That's what section 3 is all about, hacking your habits. Let's get practical.
It really boils down to a pretty straightforward 3-step process. You can think of it like a workout plan, but for your brain, a way to intentionally rewire it to be more resilient and ready for whatever's next.
First up, and this is the absolute foundation, you've got to foster a growth mindset. When you truly believe that your abilities aren't fixed, that you can develop them with effort, you just become so much more persistent. That belief literally kicks your brain into a higher gear for making changes.
Step 2 is all about deliberate practice, and this is key. It's not just doing the same thing over and over. It's like an athlete training for the Olympics, right? You're purposefully pushing yourself right to the edge of your comfort zone. That's the kind of focused effort that actually builds and strengthens the new neural pathways you want. And finally, step 3. We lock in those changes with some daily rituals. 20 minutes of meditation might seem like it's just for relaxing, but it's actually training your focus, a critical skill for doing deep, creative work. And regular exercise, that's not just for your body. It actually helps grow new neurons, making you a better learner. And then something as simple as journaling helps you connect the dots on what you're learning. See, these aren't just wellness fads, they're powerful tools for upgrading your own mind. So what's the big takeaway here? This isn't a one and done kind of deal. The real workout for your brain in this new era is just getting comfortable with constantly learning and unlearning. You have to be willing to let go of old ways of thinking and actively grab on to new skills. Okay, so where is all this heading? Let's look into the future in our final section, Thriving in 2030. What does this world, with our evolved brains, actually look like? By 2030,
The picture isn't humans versus machines, it's humans with machines. It's this amazing symbiotic relationship where AI does the heavy lifting with data and routine stuff, which frees us up to do what we do best: lead with creativity, with strategy, with real human empathy.
And here's the best part. You don't have to wait for this future. You can start building it for yourself like today with your own personal roadmap. Start by just looking at your skills and seeing where they stack up against AI trends. Set some small, weekly learning goals, nothing crazy. Really focus on those human-centric skills we talked about. And, just track your progress. It helps make all that new learning stick.
Look, the bottom line is this. The future doesn't have to be something that just happens to you. When you understand and really start to use your brain's neuroplasticity, you become the architect of your own evolution. And remember, this isn't about becoming some kind of genius overnight. It's just about taking small, intentional steps every day. So the only question left to ask yourself is, what's the first step you're going to take today to start rewiring your brain, to adapt, to innovate, and to truly thrive?